afternoon and welcome to On the Spot Motorsports Media. I'm your host, Mitchell Gunter, right along with Robert Simpson. And I tell you what, we got a great show in store tonight, especially if you're interested in getting insurance for your race car or insurance to cover the contents in your hauler. This is the show for you that you want to listen to because we have Kari Carr joining us from Laris Insurance, one of the biggest growing companies that can protect your racing equipment and your cars all at the same time. But before we get into all of that, we got a couple of commercials, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Reliability to drive thousands of miles. Confidence for those who fly high. Redline oil products give you the power to crush the competition. And a track record of being the best. Redline oil products. You push it to the limit, we'll protect it.
Ready to take your engine to the next level? Scorpion Racing Products delivers precision-engineered, high-performance rocker arms that dominate the track. 100% CNC machined in the USA with aerospace-grade aluminum for unmatched strength and durability. Our rocker arms handle extreme conditions with multiple ratios available to fit your needs. Backed by our exclusive lifetime warranty. When performance matters, choose Scorpion Racing Products. Proven, reliable, unstoppable.
With more than 30 years of engine and drivetrain experience, Big Stuff is your one-stop total power management solution. Whether you're controlling a 600 horsepower street car and want the best drivability, or have a 6,000 horsepower race car, need the most bulletproof, reliable control hardware, Big Stuff can do it all. All of our components are designed and manufactured right here in the USA, including our computers, wiring harnesses, touchscreen displays, and more. Nothing is built offshore, and we take pride in being one of the only automotive aftermarket manufacturers that can say this. Learn more at BigStuff3EFI.com or connect with us on Facebook and Instagram for more information.
Ms. Carr, I want to thank you for joining us tonight and to be able to go over what Laris Insurance does for a lot of people. Kind of get a little bit of the history behind it and, and all the things that y'all were able to cover for racers.
Hi, well, thank you for having me on first of all here. Laris, people probably don't realize the scope of all of the stuff that they offer, that they cover. Ross and Holden Laris, they started this company because there was a need. Obviously, there's been race car insurance before, but nobody's ever offered the on-track side of it. And then, they kind of dove further into it and fine-tuned it into what it is today. They're racers themselves. They get it. They've been around a long time. So, some of the coverages that we offer, a lot of people think our off-track coverage is just in transport. That's the only thing it covers, which is pretty narrow as far as what it does cover. Our off-track, it's not only in transport to and from the track, it's fire, it's theft, it's vandalism, it's weather. In the staging lanes, how many times have we seen the posts or people talk about they're in the staging lanes and somebody's throttle hangs and crashes into their car? That's something on the track side. So a lot of people may not think that the off-track side is very valuable. Pit accidents. Runs into your car in the pits, kid on a golf cart, drunk person on a golf cart.
Not the drunk part, but seeing people run into your car.
Mine got ran into at Gainesville by a four-wheeler, so yeah.
So those are all off-track things, pit vehicles, they're covered. So it's not only your car, it's your trailer, it's your pit vehicle. Trailer, it's your trailer contents. A lot of people don't realize, like, if your trailer's stolen, a cut and dry policy with a corporate carrier, one of the big names, they're covering the shell of your trailer at a very depreciated value.
Yes.
We are covering your trailer at a stated value of what you choose, what, the replacement value is, or, what you have it valued at. We're covering the contents of your trailer, not only your race car, but we're also covering your tools, your spare parts. A lot of people carry spare motors. Everything is valued so that if something happens, fire or theft, I mean, rigs get stolen all the time. That way you can replace what you have in it. You're not left just standing there with a depreciated value check from your insurance company for the shell of your trailer. And I always ask people when we're going through this, I always say, if your racing operation was stolen tonight, would you be able to stroke a check to replace everything you had tomorrow? Because if not, you need insurance.
That's about the clearest explanation for having insurance on a race car that I have heard in a long time. And I've heard a couple things, like you said. I've heard some other big carriers, and I've heard a couple racing insurance. But once you start breaking it down from others, I should say, it doesn't really cover everything. It covers just a generic. So that's where I was going to lead with the next question. Well, first of all, Miss Kari, thank you for coming on tonight, because I know you have been crazy busy, and we've all been playing tag with each other trying to schedule. So thank you for coming on and talking more about Laris Motorsports. But for example, you stated that you have a coverage on your trailer, okay, and then coverage on the content. Now, here's a question that somebody has asked me: is that considered one policy, or is it considered two separate policies, and then like one put under the other, that kind of thing?
Right. So everything is one policy for 12-month premium. In that policy, broken down into different components. So those are where your different kind of claims are going to come in. For example, the race car. We break your race car down, rolling, motor, and trans. We do that for several different reasons. When something happens, it's not always a total loss. Say your motor's out, got it at your buddy or an engine builder's shop. His shop goes up in flames. We already know what you have that motor valued at, insured at, and what you need to file a claim for. We don't have to spend time figuring out what that piece of the puzzle was, because we already know it ahead of time. We've already determined that. So it's very thought out to where nobody ever wants to have a claim, but if there is a claim, the goal is to get the racer back, made whole again as quickly as possible. That's Laris's goal. Everybody likes to race, and when a tragedy happens, the last thing that we want to do is have something drug out and have you trying to scramble to get paperwork to figure out, oh, well, my race car is valued at this, but the motor was this. No, we've already established that. We know that when we do your policy. Same thing with contents. We know what your golf cart is worth because you've told us. We know what your tools are worth because you've told us. So, there's things like that I think probably other insurance companies, they don't go into that detail.
Right. You're absolutely right.
So yeah, it's a big puzzle, but all of the pieces have been carefully cut and thought out to make sure they fall into place. So if something does happen, it makes sense to get it worked out and get your claim resolved as quickly as possible.
So if someone wants to use Laris Insurance, they would come to you and say, hey, my trailer is valued at this. This is my car is this. And y'all put a package together. So depending on what you have is what you're insured for. So the more stuff you have, probably your monthly payment for insurance is going to be a little higher than the other guy, which makes sense.
Right. I mean, it's based on your values of stuff. And I have people that go several different ways. I have people that value stuff. Okay, well, yeah, my trailer's a 99 P&E, but I can't replace it in 2025 for what I bought it for in 99. Right. So I have to value it at what I could replace it for, which is totally fine. And then I have other people who have a 99 T&E, and they value it for what they bought it for in 99. And they're like, well, if something happens, at least that'll go towards replacing it, and I'll find a used one. So, you can go whatever way you want to go with it. It's stated value, obviously within reason. Right. You have to be comfortable not only with what you're going to value it at, but you have to be comfortable with what your payment is going to be on the policy. And that's something that we can work. I talk to people all day long, and they're like, I don't even know where to start. And we talk to it, and we get to a starting point, and we build from there, and then we get to the numbers and they're like, well, let's adjust this, or that sounds a little low when you put all the components together. So those are things where I walk through, and it's not a complicated process. I know it sounds like I'm going over a lot, but you can ask anyone who's insured with me. It's typically really just very simple. I talk it out with them. We have a format that we follow. We ask all the right questions so that there's really no gray area.
Right.
And go from there. But any racer that has any type of racing operation, whether it be an open trailer with a door car, or somebody like one of my clients, Tony Farmer, that has multiple rigs with multiple cars, you should have a policy. It doesn't make sense not to, for what you have invested in your racing operation.
Right. Well, I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. How about that? So how about someone who has a vehicle that they're a bracket racer. They drive their car every day back and forth to work or go get the groceries and stuff. But on race day, they'll load it up and they'll go to the track. Can they still get the insurance coverage for the car for performance on the track, for racing on the track?
Nope. So if it's registered and titled and you drive it on the street, we can't cover it. We're motorsport. Okay. So even with our motorhomes and toter homes, we can cover the physical side of it, the collision, physical damages, everything at a stated value on a motorhome. But you still have to have a regular liability policy because we're designated as a motorsports carrier. So you still have to have the liability side.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So if, say, my street car's got regular insurance on it for driving on the street and everything like that, could I use the insurance to cover it at the track, or is that a no?
Oh, it has to be trailered to and from the track and
Okay.
not. Yep.
Okay, not licensed or insured for public road.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, go along with what Mitchell said. What about, would you insure said trailer? Okay, towing a licensed vehicle, but would you insurance a trailer, whether it's enclosed or open in contents, minus the vehicle?
Oh yeah. So I have people that just insure their trailers. We can cover the trailer, the contents, all of that stuff. All of our trailer coverages are full coverages. So they're really good. It's just the motorhome side of it. You definitely have to still have that liability policy through a regular carrier.
Okay. Well, that helped because Mitchell and I were both talking about this, going, "Hey, what if?" And because he and I both race our street cars. I trailer mine because it's easier with carrying family in the truck, and he drives his.
Because I'm only 20 minutes from the track.
Rub that in.
Like amount of classic cars people call about and want me to insure, the car shows and things like that. I would love to be able to do it, but we just can't. Restriction and unfortunately, no.
Right. That makes sense. Now, here's another question breaking down the on-track coverage. Okay, whether it be like you and your husband's dragsters, or like we said, a bracket car, or any other thing, whether it's being towed up, through the pits or driven, does the coverage stop at the water box and start at the turnoff, or does it include everything on the track, or is that two different policies?
So your basic policy is going to be just the off-track only, and any policy you can add on-track to that. So if you have on-track coverage, you're covered on the racing surface for anything that ends in a collision. If you only have our off-track coverage, then it's exactly that. It stops at the water box and then starts again when you turn off the track. Even like the return road is covered.
Okay.
So many people that have the on-track coverage. And just little backstory as far as, I know you brought up Shane. That's kind of how I ended up here. Most everybody in the bracket racing world knows that he had a pretty nasty crash last June, I believe. Yeah, a year and a couple months ago in June in Ohio. I did not work for Laris at the time. I was doing regular insurance, corporate insurance, the fun stuff, right? All the red tape, property, casualty, all of it. So I wasn't even there. It was just him and Dylan. He was, obviously most people know he drives everybody else's stuff. He's, very accomplished and gets a lot of offers to ride.
It's an understatement.
Dragster, first time ever, 40 plus years racing, first time ever. Had a nasty finish line crash. I got to watch it live on the live feed. That was great. Thankfully, he walked away without a scratch, but the car was not so lucky. I had to call the car owner and say, hey, Shane's had a crash. And he said, well, as long as he's okay, I don't care. I'm good. I have Laris. I'm covered. And I'm like, he said, no, I have On Track. It's fine. Now, I knew who Laris was. Obviously, I'm in the racing world. But me being in corporate insurance, I'm like, there's no way. Like, there's going to be a loophole, right? There'll be like,
Right.
And there'll be something.
Right.
No, they took care of all of it. I mean, in my mind, I was convinced we were buying this wrecked dragster because Shane won that round, and like 35, 40 minutes later, he called and he's like, hey, I think I'm going to go up for fourth round in JP's car. How do you feel about that? And of course, I didn't think about it at the time, but in my mind, I'm going to have to buy this dragster. You might as well go ahead and try and win 50 grand. Like,
Right.
come on. But they covered everything. So in turn, when I reached out to Laris and I was like, listen, you guys are great. Thank you. It's way easier than what I deal with every day in insurance. And that's when they were like, wait a minute, you're a licensed insurance agent? What? And you're always at the racetrack? What are we missing here? And so I transitioned over to Laris. I got to leave the corporate world. They hired me on, and it's been great. Shane was like, oh, you get to work while we're at the racetrack? This is going to be great. I'm like, I already work. Like, I'm married to you. So I'm job here at the racetrack.
Hearing you say that, I'm like going, oh, he didn't say that, did he? He did, because that's such an easy setup,
And I mean, he loves it, but he doesn't love it. I mean, I'm not around now, I'm not there as much as I could be compared to what, it used to be when he's racing. I'm busy. I'm talking to people, and I'm in the tower and writing policies. So it's busy.
Right, absolutely. Now you answered a question, I believe so, that if the policy is with the car and with the car owner, whoever that might be, whoever the policy owner is, and somebody else is driving their car and an incident happens, that Laris will still cover the incident. Okay, okay. You see, that's something that I didn't think about till just now. It's like, what, does the policy holder have to be the one driving the vehicle if something unfortunately happens? Now, of course, we're talking about on track. We're not talking about, off track or parked or something like that. So,
no, I mean, that applies across the board. So yeah, on track, there's no driver exclusions. You're at the track and your buddy's car breaks, jumps in your car. You have Laris, you're covered. He crashes it. Yeah, that's covered. Same thing. We have a lot of drivers that maybe share the fuel costs, like saying going to Vegas for the spring fling, right? A lot of people from the East Coast, they put multiple cars in one trailer to save fuel to go out there. Say you have Laris on your dragster, you put it in someone else's stacker, they crash on the way out there. They don't have Laris. Guess what? Your dragster is still covered. There's it doesn't have to be in your trailer. Your coverage is your coverage. It follows, the car. So, whether that be door car, dragster, whatever, same thing for your trailer. You let your buddy borrow your trailer. He crashes it. He doesn't have insurance. That's okay because you have Laris and your trailer's covered. So yeah, I think that's another thing that people don't realize for sure.
oh, wow. Okay. So
I like it.
I do. I like it. And, hopefully I can get down to the mini and talk to you a little bit more face to face for what I do in racing and Mitchell too, to learn more specifics about our particular cases. We don't want to bore everybody online with asking, like going, I got this or not that, and all that kind of stuff. Now tell me something. Now, obviously, in my particular case, I have a pickup truck that tows my open trailer. Okay, and I got coverage, regular insurance on my truck. If I get Laris to cover the trailer and with my street car on it and something happens, unfortunately, then your coverage is just on the trailer, correct? Because that's what the policy is on.
Yep, just on the trailer, correct.
That totally makes sense. Now, you said, unfortunately, I know Shane had that incident in Ohio, and I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad everything's all right. But how did the process go once it happened to actually the claim and getting the ball rolling as far as to get, I can't say, I don't think the right word's compensated from Laris,
Right.
but basically, take care of the,
Paid, right? That's for him to recoup his costs.
right.
It was so, I don't want to say simple because like it was a traumatic event, but it was so simple. It was really sending in the documentation, like pictures of what happened, filling out the statement. They, got with the car owner, and I mean, it was less than 30 days by far.
Really?
Yeah, less than 30 days. So another thing kind of go over with the on-track stuff, crash-wise and things like that. So say there is a crash, say the motor's fine. The car is damaged, but the motor's fine. That's again where their separate values are going to come into play because you're paid for the rolling value of the car and you're going to retain the motor. So there's those different components coming into play when something like that happens.
I got you.
If it's not a total loss, then Laris can compensate for the rolling part of it or the motor part of it. But like in a crash situation, a lot of times the motor ends up being fine and the client will retain the motor and just get paid for the rolling value of the car.
Right.
I like it.
I do too. Now, another trick question. Do you cover no prep vehicles or events or anything like that?
Yes. We don't.
Good call.
Yeah. Off track, yes. We don't cover any on track for heads up racing. That's just too big of a risk as far as financially for them to kind of gamble on. Bracket racing is pretty safe. Obviously, the NHRA stuff is pretty safe. We do offer on track for top sportsmen, so that's we do have that. Obviously, your rate depends on the class you're in. So if you're in a class, your rate is going to be a little higher, and it's going to be a little higher because those cars are of higher value, right? Like, so your stated value for a top sportsman car is going to be a little more than your stated value for a 1975 Duster,
Right.
A small block or something.
Right.
So
That makes sense.
keep that in mind, like when people are thinking about like, the values of stuff, you're not going to face those higher values until you get into those higher brackets or the higher premiums until you get into the higher brackets of values and stuff.
That totally makes sense.
Well, I like, talking a little bit about, I think a lot of people would enjoy knowing that, the return is like 30 days, maybe slightly a little more depending on the situation before they get compensated back and they can go out and look for them a replacement vehicle. Or like you said, if the motor's good, hey, you can save the motor over to the side. And,
Right.
There's a lot of options there for racers to use with the insurance.
The goal is to get the racer back going again. That's the whole point of the insurance. It's to protect the racer. And Laris is huge on giving back to the racing community as well. I know you talked about a little bit about the Mini Million coming up. Obviously,
Right.
we're a sponsor for that. We love all forms of racing. We sponsor the Million. We came on for the Mini Million. We love Folk Promotions. Jenny Folk does a fantastic job with their races. Obviously, Florida in November. I mean, it doesn't.
Doesn't get much better, right?
We do all of those events. We do, all the major bracket racing events, but we've also come on board with things like Jared Pennington's foot brake race,
Yes.
brake challenge. That was a first year thing for us this year, and it was phenomenal. The feedback that we got from the racers, the policies that I, was able to help racers get there was huge. I went to Byron, Illinois for a race up there. That was the first time that we've been up there. I'm flying to Vegas a week from today. I'm actually going to be at the Vegas National. I have some West Coast clients that I'm going to be talking with, and they have some referrals for me. So, yeah, we're everywhere. I mean, we sponsor events. We give back to the racers. We pay contingency for racers. We have a referral program. We have a brand ambassador program. We sponsor racer appreciation dinners. So we, what racer, especially the guys, don't like food. I mean, I love food. So happy if we sponsored like an ice cream thing or something at the track. I don't know, like that's going to be on the list for next year. We're going to get an ice cream truck to show up.
Well, if you go to Bristol for the foot brake race, they got that part covered. You know what I mean? I mean, that's about the most expensive ice cream that you ever want to buy. You don't want to buy it. You don't want to buy it. Let me put it that way. You don't want to buy it. Okay.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes you have to buy it if you want to continue to play. But that's part of it. But no, that's something that we noticed in our research. Okay, now is we saw how much Ross and Holden Laris has been involved in drag racing, NHRA drag racing, being top dragster, super comp, super gas, all the way down in the sportsman ranks. But then to see how much that y'all are involved with, like you said, the bigger foot brake races and top bulb races, the spring fling, the million, the mini million, and other races, even over to IHRA, PDRA, and other events. I mean, the fact that y'all are canvassing so much, not only on the professional side, but also on the sportsman side, is really good. And the fact that this is racers helping to cover racers, not just, like you said, a corporate group that just happens to have a motorsports division, but nobody knows really anything about it. So
Right.
that's good.
Well, we're all very easily accessible. All of the agents, you know, there's several of us on the NHRA side, the bracket side, the PDRA side. We're all very easily accessible, whether it be at the track or, you know, on Facebook. All of our phone numbers are everywhere. So we're not hard to find or get in touch with. And then having an agent at the event, I think, is something that makes us stand out as well from maybe the competition. You know, we're there supporting the racers. We're there supporting the events that they love. And I always tell people, I'm like, support the companies that support this sport.
Yes.
I agree.
We totally agree.
Whether it be us, whether it be, you know, a transmission company that gives back, whatever, you know, support those companies because they're helping keep this sport alive. You know, we even support the junior dragster stuff. We've done stuff for the junior programs as well. So, you know, keeping it into the up and coming generations as well.
Agreed. I'm glad to actually hear this because you know, we've researched this a little bit, and I've heard about Laris for the longest time. Okay, but I was reluctant. I was reluctant to call and ask questions and stuff like that. And when I call to reach out to you, this is to let everybody know out there in OTS world how this came about. Okay, I literally just reached out to the Laris Motorsports Insurance number. I just cold called. That is literally it. I just cold called, and they're like going, "Who? What? What are you asking?" You know what I mean? And I told them, and they're like going, "Huh? Okay." And then they thought about it. It's like going, "Well, we're all at lunch right now. let's get back to you." That kind of thing. I said, "Okay." And then, you know, like a day passed, and then they reach back out, and once again, somebody called and goes, "Hey, did you call us? You know, what's going on? What can we help you with?" And I told him the same deal, and he went, "Who? What?" You know. Anyway, so then he it was funny. Fast forward just a couple minutes, and he's like going, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I think we got somebody down your way. Miss Kari can tell you." He goes, "I'll just have him give you a call." I'm like, "All right." Whenever I heard that, I honestly didn't expect for you to call me the same day because, you know, we understand how business is and everybody working and stuff, and, you know, we're just putting a request out there. You literally called me. You were in the truck with Shane going somewhere because I could hear him talking over on the side. You know, "Is this where you turn?" You know, that kind of thing. And and then you started talking like going, "Yeah, let me look at my calendar. Okay, let's." And that's just how quick it went. And so the fact that they put me in contact with one of their agents quickly about a podcast tells me that they would put a racer in contact with the representative if something happens just as quick. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
You know, and I always love the chance to talk about Laris, not only because obviously I work for them, but my experience with them before I worked for them and how that went down when Shane did have that incident and how it was, you know, that was life-changing for us. I mean, we could have really been left, not that we wouldn't have made it right by any means, but, you know, it really saved us from having to buy this, you know, wrecked car at that point.
Right.
Definitely saved us. Babe, come say hi, because I told them that you were he literally just walked in the door. the Sugar Shane to come say hello.
Now, I was not going to call him his nickname. I was just going to say Shane. You could call him that. There he is. There he is.
I just walked in from work here, and yeah, lately he's been a little bit of salty Shane instead of Sugar Shane because he's had a little.
I didn't say that. I was just going to introduce you as Mr. Shane Carr. Ladies and gentlemen, that's watching this and listening to this. You're being introduced to one of the winners of the $1 Million Race.
Yes.
And you're one of I can't say it's more than a handful now, being 30 years, but you've more than won your handful of races, to say the least. You've more than won your share of races. So
yeah, he's actually been $3 million finals. He's won once, and he runnered up in Vegas at the Vegas Million, and then he runnered up in 2023, right?
Yep.
2023 at the OG Million. He's been in 3 million finals.
oh, okay. So is that the most that somebody's been in the final of the mill?
No.
Well, no, Triplet been in 3.
Was Triple was in 2 or was it 3?
I think he's been in 3 finals. He's won twice and runnered up.
Okay, Kenny's been in 2. That I remember. Kenny's been in 2, and I didn't know if he was in 3 or not. So
Yeah.
that's saying something. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, he doesn't like to brag on himself, but I think that's a big accomplishment, especially as
Definitely.
That's what your wife's for. It's to take care of it. But Shane, your wife was explaining. Well, first of all, we're glad that the incident that happened to you in Ohio, that you're safe and that you're healthy from that unfortunate incident that happened. But she was also explaining on how the process with Laris, on how smooth that it went to take care of the claim. So we were glad to hear that. First of all, I'm glad you're safe.
Yeah. Glad I was in a good car, well-built car.
Yeah, well built.
Wears almost all the safety equipment. I don't wear it all, but I wear almost all of it.
He doesn't wear a Hans bracket race, but yeah, he walked away pretty much without. Well, he had one little tiny scratch. Cute, funny story. He had a teeny tiny little scratch on his elbow that was like a scab. Now, remember I told you he continued racing after he crashed, like for that day plus the next day. So he gets home, and he's got this little scab. And I mean, I gave him like a SpongeBob Band-Aid or something. Band-Aid. And I took him to get ice cream because he needed to go. And that would make
Got to.
And he said, he said, I just don't know how this happened. I don't know how I got this little scab. He said, I looked all inside my fire jacket and like there's no blood in there. And he says, I almost think my bone popped through there. And I'm waiting for him to like say something else, but he doesn't. And so then I'm like, did they really check your head? Cause like popped through. Where would it went? I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. My wife would have come through the phone at me if I'd have said that.
Times that I put the entire roll of quarters in you.
He was not kidding. He wasn't.
Oh gosh.
Like you said, the mini millions coming up here pretty quickly at Gainesville Raceway. Are y'all going to be pretty much set up where y'all were last year? I want to say y'all were in the pavilion, correct?
Yeah, so I was in the bottom of the tower for pretty much the entire week. Like I pretty much camped out there where you come in to get your tech card and buy back. I had a table set out of there. And then, under the tent on Friday night, I believe she does the racer party. So I set up in there because obviously we sponsor the party. So I'll set up a table in there. But I'll be in there. Yeah, there's the table there.
Excellent.
I'll be in there. I'll be in the tower pretty much the whole week or out. I do try to like get out and get fresh air and walk around the pits and visit with racers. And, a lot of racers may not make it to the tower to talk, but I try to.
No, they don't want to go. They don't want to go to the tower unless you have to go to the tower.
Right. Exactly. So we'll be there all week. We can certainly connect there as well. And
Well, that's good. That's good.
Well, I will definitely be there. I won't be racing, but I'm going to be trying to cover as much as possible, doing hopefully some videos, some photos, and be able to write article up after the event. maybe even get some interviews with the winners of each day, and try to get that put out there. And of course, we'll talk about Laris Insurance. Y'all are a big part of it, and I think it's going to be a great event. It was great last year.
Yeah,
Uh,
great.
Yeah, yeah, it was. And the weather's actually looking pretty good.
Yeah,
At least last time I looked.
anything that involves warmer weather, great.
You're like going, you know, but I tell you, is Laris planning on being at the PRI event this year?
Yes, we will be at the PRI show. We'll have the same booth that we were last year. I don't remember what the number is, but yeah, we'll be at the PRI show. We've got some exciting things to announce there. So hopefully you guys will be there. We can connect and do
Yes.
podcast there and bring people some fun PRI news.
Okay, now you got us interested.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even know what that would be about, but look forward to finding out what that is, and being able to talk more about it and to share more about it to everybody else. Oh.
Yeah, the great thing about PRI is all of the new things that are being released, all the news stories,
Yes.
which some of them already have happened in NHRA, happened a whole lot earlier than PRI, and we just lost her. But
Oh, man.
hopefully she'll be able to jump back on. But
Yeah.
just some of the big stories that come about. Some of them's already happened, especially with
Did I lose you? I'm sorry. My
oh,
son,
you're good.
he's in Oklahoma. He works for Elite Motorsports, and he just tried to call, and it like totally froze me out. So
I get it.
Hey,
Hey, but that's your son, okay? That's your family. So we get it.
That was actually fixing to tie everything in when you came back, and was talking about your son calling from Richard Freeman. Was just talking about all the things that get released at PRI, all the news stories, and personnel moving here and there. Some of that's already happened with Elite Motorsports. Josh Hart puts up his operation a couple of months ago for sale. Yeah, I think it's out there for 30 minutes, and Richard Freeman, I mean, he's like, I buy it,
Right.
So that's happened, and Tony Stewart coming over.
never know what Richard is going to do. Him or Royce Lee. Royce Lee's my buddy, Royce Lee Freeman, that races comp.
Yes.
I give him a hard time, but I love him endlessly. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to seeing them in Vegas next week. It's going to be really fun.
It's never ending. Every time I turn around, there's something with Elite on the side of it. Monty Bogan, as you know, Monty Bogan, he's got Elite on his cop car, and actually a
Monty
Super Stocker too. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Monty's been.
I might know. No, he's actually one of my clients, Lee Sharp, and I have quite a few of them. But yeah, I've known Monty for a long time. Great guy, hugely successful racer,
Yes.
and he's quite the character as well.
Yes, he is. We've had him on before, and I mean, I've talked to him just literally leaning over the fenders, talking to him at the track. And I tell you what, man, that is some funny people right there. That is some good folks. Yeah. So,
He was actually our 2024 Sportsman Driver of the Year. So we do awards and stuff for professional ranks, and we kicked one toward the Sportsman program, and he was our first Sportsman candidate to win an award, and it was the Sportsman of the Year. And right now we've got a couple on target. One of them is Hidalgo Jr. That may be in the running for that this year.
Yeah. No, Monty, very well deserving. One of my other clients, Joe Santangelo.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
He's been on it this year too.
great guy. He's hugely successful as well. Yeah, I mean, even though I don't get to the NHRA races as much as like I would like to because schedule conflicts, definitely have a great clientele over there. Lot of very successful. I can't even keep up. Like I wouldn't even try. I try so hard to congratulate my clients when they win, but I just can't even keep up. I'm like, oh gosh.
To have such problems, right?
I know, right? Like, but no, yeah, there's a lot of great racers for sure.
Absolutely. And like I said, that's what kind of led us an interest to to seek y'all out to speak to y'all, because we just happened to talk to a couple racers this year at different divisional meets and stuff like that, and I saw the sticker on the car and I asked them, and they're like, just plainly simple, yeah, they cover the car. I got a tire policy on my car, tire thing, and and they would tell me a little bit about it without going into their personal detail. But so that just what's kind of piqued the interest, and I started seeing it more and more and more, and us following more and more, and I'm like going, well, we need to talk to y'all to be able to get your word out and try to clear up any misconceptions. Which
I'm so glad.
I think
I'm very appreciative that you invited us to come on, and I will definitely make sure we try to share your guys' information. I think it's great what you're doing and trying to get even more information out to racers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And come find me at the Mini.
Now tell everybody how they could get a hold of Laris, get a hold of you. I mean, put it out there.
So, Laris, obviously, Facebook is a huge one. You can go to Laris's Facebook page. You can go to my Facebook page, Kari Carr. My phone number is everywhere. On my page, it's on Laris's website. The office number is on there. Yep, there you go. That's my cell phone number on there. My email is Kari, Kari, at larismotorsports.com. We have several other agents as well that are, fantastic. Ashley Cole is one of our agents. Madison Ezel, she's another agent. We have Jake Green. We have several agents that live all over the country as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to work with someone that's closer to where you are or whatever form of racing you're in, just even if you don't know who you want to work with, call the office and they can direct you out to an agent as well.
Absolutely. You see, so you heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it's just that simple. Just call Laris Motorsports Insurance via Facebook, via calling, email, text, bat signal, whatever it might be.
Something was on there a few minutes ago that had like a QR code. You can scan that. That'll take you to like a quick, simple quote as well. But yeah, feel free to call me. I'm super transparent. My cell phone's everywhere. Or you can call the office, either or.
Okay, that's good to hear. I mean, I'm kind of I do. I want to come down and see you, whether it be at the Mini or PRI, and to sit down and have some particular questions about my operation, and to see what Laris can offer. And,
because I'm actually getting to the point where I'm fixing to have to probably look for a tow vehicle and a trailer, and quit driving mine on the street. That's the plan for mine.
Yeah.
So I'm going to need that coverage.
We can handle it, and like when you come to the Mini, we can get Jenny Folk to come on. She loves the camera, so we can get her. She's me for that, but we can get her to talk about some racing stuff too and tie it all in.
Now you've named 3 names: yourself, Folk, and Ezel. All of y'all are married to racers, correct?
Yeah. So Jenny doesn't work for, but obviously Jenny is a huge promoter. Obviously, she's promoter of the Million.
Right.
So obviously there's me, Madison Ezel. She's married to Johnny Ezel.
Yep. There you go.
They put on some races as well. Ashley Cole, one of our other agents, she actually is a racer herself. She does a lot of divisionals, so she's actually a racer. And then some of our other agents, Jake Green, he does something with like the top fuel teams as well. Like he's very knowledgeable with like the track prep stuff. And then one of our agents is also married to a sportsman racer. So yeah, we're all there. We're all involved in racing. We don't have an agent that just walked out of an office and has never heard a race car start up before.
Oh yeah, because I recognize several of y'all's last names and other racers. Now, seeing Troy's name, a buddy of ours that popped up down there. Troy used to race motorcycles, and he does occasionally, and he has a door car right now. Do y'all cover drag bikes, drag motorcycles?
We do.
Same way?
Yeah, we cover drag bikes. I mean, I know there's some on-track restrictions, but I'm not sure exactly what those are because we don't get a lot of them, and I haven't handled any of those yet. But I know a guy that works in our office, Bailey, He's actually handled some of the motorcycle, but for sure, all the off-track stuff. And if he's interested, he can call me and I can find out all of what those restrictions are. If he's interested in the on-track, I can figure out what the process is for that, depending on, how fast it is and speed restrictions, things like that.
Yeah, Troy's stuff is not slow. It is not slow. It's not a teetotaler,
No, people that ride those, whew, God.
Yeah, that's a different breed. They're all fantastic racers, but no, that's just not for me.
No.
Robert, I would though, and I actually found a Hayabusa down in South Florida, ready to go for $9,800.
Yeah, but your wife said no way. And
She said, as long as I don't drive it on the street.
Probably only a couple words added to that no part.
She says, as long as I don't drive it on the street, I can have it.
Yeah, Miss Kara's like, nope.
Yeah, the boss has spoken. I have things with Shane. I'm like, nope. Mm-mm. And I think that would be one of them, motorcycle, for sure.
Yeah, that's exactly how my wife's a nurse, and she's like, nope, I've worked enough ERs.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tim. I appreciate
it, Tim.
And Tim, if you do not currently have Laris, Tim Barrett is a Division I stock eliminator racer.
Okay.
Very good racer, by the way. Very quick and been very successful, him and his wife. And they have a very nice operation. And Tim, if you currently do not have coverage like Laris offers, I would respectfully suggest that you call and ask them. They might have something right up your alley. Yeah. Oh, he's got a beautiful '69 Camaro and with a tremendous history. And yeah, and not only that, they're very, very nice, sincere people. So maybe
we need to get Tim on.
Yes, we
definitely need to get Tim on the podcast.
I talked to him at Indy a little bit, so hopefully we can work something out. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. I'm sorry. It's just like zip, so like that. But no, I tell you, thank you so much, Ms. Carr, for answering these questions, and we look forward to like I said, to not only talking to you again, interviewing again, but finding out more. I'm serious. I want to find out more for coverage for me. Because you live in Bradenton, in that area, do you not?
Bradenton, yep. So
okay.
I'll be at Gainesville. So yeah, let's connect at Gainesville for sure, and do some more and get the word out there even more, and look at your stuff as well.
As busy as traffic is in Bradenton, I live in Jacksonville, so it's just nuts. It's just crazy. And Mitchell, you live so close to the track, you can practically lean on it. I don't even want to talk about that. He lives close to Gainesville. That's our home track.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to go back. So definitely come find me, and I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm definitely can't wait to PRI to hear some of the news that y'all are going to break.
Yes.
So looking forward to that. And again, thank you for coming on tonight and breaking down a little bit about the insurance for racers so they can better understand it. I really like promoting companies like Laris that helps and supports the racers like me and Robert.
Thank you again. I appreciate it. You guys have a good night.
Thank you, Ms. Carr. You have a wonderful night. Take care. I tell you, that's right there. That is good to hear. Racers giving back to racers helping cover racers. In many different ways, not only with the coverage, but giving back through sponsorship opportunities at the track, contingency, the feed.
Well, the whole thing about protecting the contents inside the trailer is just amazing in itself.
Yes,
there's all kinds of things that can happen. We've seen trailers catch on fire.
Yep.
From generators, people get hit from behind, that totally destroys their trailer and their car and everything in it. Parts, tools all over the place, and some of them that you'll never be able to recover. And all the different tiers that you can get that you can break down in that coverage is quite amazing. So I'm really looking forward to the mini million coming up and talking to her a little bit more, picking her brain, and especially get the PRI with all the announcements that are being made. I'm looking forward to seeing what that announcement's going to be.
Yeah, we look forward to it. It's I'm sure whatever it is, it's going to be something exciting to help the racers. Okay, I'm sure of it, whatever it might be. So, yeah, I mean, this it sounds simple, but the more we think about it, the more I guess complicated it can be. But it sounds like the Laris insurance has actually got it simplified in many different ways. Like she was explaining, for example, your trailer, you're covered your trailer, and then your contents, and you list the contents, okay, and the value of said contents, and I'm sure there's limitations. You know what I mean? It's like you can't say you have a Harbor Freight toolkit that's worth $5,000. Obviously, there's
Right.
there's obviously there's going to be ways that you clarify what you're claiming or what you're putting on there to claim, but I like it. I think that's really really great, and I'm serious. Look forward to talking to him more.
Well, like one of the things she was saying, how many times Shane has been down the track and then, boom, he has an accident.
Right.
That can happen to any one of us.
Exactly.
And when you get into racing, eventually at some point in time, you're probably going to have an issue that will come up while you're going down the track.
Something.
Now, yeah, I mean, you
Something.
can scrape the wall, you can cross over, you hit the wall. I mean, all those kind of things can happen. You know, uh, it's a dangerous sport, but again, we all love it, and we
Yeah.
won't turn away from it.
No, that's true. That's true. It's our drug of choice, as my father says, and it is, and it is an exciting sport. But everybody out there, we encourage you to support those who support racers. For example, like Redline Synthetic, who's come on board with On the Spot Motorsports Media, and also for Scorpion Racing Products, for not only for them coming on board with us, but also for coming on board at Gainesville Raceway in South Georgia Motorsports Park through their bracket program. These and other companies are racing companies that are they're run by racers, and so we encourage everybody to support those that support racers. If you currently don't have a car or a race car, but you like racing, find a track, go support it, go spectate,
Go sit in the stands. Exactly.
go sit in the stands, go meet some people and volunteer to help on their car, whether it just being wiping it down, pushing the car, whatever it might be, whatever your sport is, drag racing, round track racing, it
Yep.
doesn't
Go
matter.
buy a hot dog and a
Mud
cold
bogging,
drink.
yeah, support the events, support the tracks, support the promoters. And like I said, even if you don't own a car, you can get involved and support it in that way. And that's how we keep this great sports going.
Well,
Whatever it might
Robert,
be.
a lot of people think, well, it's a big track. It's not going to go nowhere. It's been here 30 years. And then you have the situation, Atlanta, it's
Yeah.
gone.
Or West Palm is gone, or Memphis
West
is
Palm is
gone.
gone. Yeah, I
Or,
mean,
or,
beautiful facilities that
or
are totally gone, and some of them will never come back to those areas.
Acco, English Town,
Yes.
Fontana, or Fontana. But anyway, no, there's other tracks out there. But anyway, Bandamere, just to name a few. But
Which
yes,
I have a feeling that the Vandermeers are working really hard right now to get another facility put
I,
in there in Colorado. So
I hope so.
it's not totally over. Um, hopefully, if we do hear some news, maybe we can get Tammy Brandemere on her podcast. She's been on it before, and talk about the updates and what's happening and how fast is it moving.
I totally hope so.
Her family is totally 100% dedicated to drag racing.
I'm glad to hear that, and I'm all for it. I hope so. I hope out there in Colorado they get a track. I hope they. I'm exaggerating slightly when I say this. I hope they build a drag strip on every block. you know, but I mean, I hope they tracks continue to be built or resurrected or remodeled but the big thing is supported by both the racers and the owners and promoters. So, like I said, we encourage. And Gainesville is going to get real busy. now between the Fall Brawl coming up, Rob's race, and between the Mini Million.
And we got the Night of Fire this weekend.
Exactly. Night of Fire this weekend. And there's testing going on. There's a lot of things. So there's a lot of racing in Gainesville. And then there's a lot of racing with the New Year's race in Bradenton. And Orlando's always got stuff going on. So there's Immokalee. So there's always a lot of racing. So if anybody wants to take a month and a half off of work, maybe 2 months, come on down to Florida and you'll wear your car out.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Robert, this weekend, Bradenton Motorsports Park, they have Out for Blood.
Oh, that's right.
Orlando this weekend, they have the Riot. And then it's the Night of Fire at Gainesville. So Florida
I thought the Riot was next weekend.
Is it next weekend?
I thought
Maybe it is.
I could be wrong.
Maybe it is.
But still, and you're absolutely right. They got the drag strip riot, and no, ladies and gentlemen, hearing this for the first time, it's not an actual riot. So it's nothing like that. It's a great race that Orlando puts on. So we encourage you, like I said, support your local track. If you can't get to one of the other events at the other track, and there's an event going on at your track, go to it.
Yeah, for some reason I was thinking this weekend because I seen a post by a couple of racers that they had the rigs washed up and loaded, and they were.
I could be wrong.
It may be this weekend.
Because quite honestly, with so much going on, I at least get dates mixed up just with things going on. But that's just life. But it's like we've gotten several people lined up. Which we're looking forward to talk to. Like next week, for example. Next week on Tuesday, we got a special show for you. We got somebody who I never thought that we would have an opportunity to talk to, and that's Mr. Kurt Johnson. Now, Kurt Johnson, this is not Warren Johnson's son. This is Kurt Johnson, the track specialist that has a history of prepping tracks and preparing tracks and building facilities and maintaining facilities to support some of the best cars known to mankind.
Yeah, we're going to dig in. We're going to talk about polishing concrete, all the way to the thickness of the rubber on the track, prepping for, what's the big deal. I know it is, but we want to talk a little bit about what's the big deal between the fuel cars and pro stock motorcycles. As you know, they prep between each one of them because of the type of rubber that each of those cars use.
Yep.
And so we're going to let him explain a little bit of that and the difference of prepping for something, say, like ducks races. That's totally totally different as well.
Because he's prepped ducks races before. Okay, and when I talked to him, he just kind of chuckled and he said, "Yeah, we kind of built our own animal there," meaning the prep in particular for a radial car is substantially different than for an NHRA national event, and definitely for a divisional event. Tremendously different, and he explains in a very common sense way. But also in the little brief time that I spoke with him, I learned a lot on some things to look for just as a plain sportsman racer. And I'm like, never thought about it like that. You know what I mean? Just common sense. Right. But we look forward to this conversation. It's fascinating. And currently, he's working for Tony Stewart.
Yeah, and we're going to talk all the machines that they use to go out there and test for traction. Try to get in a little bit of that. Talk about all the different tools, what they actually do. What's the importance of it.
Right.
So we're going to dive into all of that. It's going to be a really good, really interesting podcast. And I'll tell you, I've talked to Kurt many a times, especially out at Gainesville when they're doing preseason testing. He's out there. He's making sure the track's good and prep for those cars to go down. And all in all, he's a great person. Really is.
Absolutely. And then next Thursday, we have funny car racer Chris King coming on. And I don't know if the proper term is to say independent, but he owns and operates his team. Plus, he's an active current firefighter.
That's right.
So the man definitely wears different hats, and so he's sponsored by Competition Products and Howard Cams, who I work with on my own cars. So great companies. So we look forward to talking to him. And by the way, happy birthday, Chris. I think today is your birthday, and happy birthday to you. 29 and holding. But I tell you, we also want to tell everybody out there, thank you very much for your continued support. Mitchell last week had the opportunity to live feed or live stream the Division II bracket finals at Gainesville. Okay, and he did a phenomenal job. Actually, 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry. He did. Yeah, he did a phenomenal job with a great opportunity. And so I and many others are very, very appreciative of what he had the opportunity to do, and hopefully going forward he'll be able to do more of that as the opportunity arises. But also we want to wish our buddy Daniel Salyers, who won Sportsman. He's going out to Vegas to represent Division II. Want to wish him the best trip and the best of luck, my friend. Hope you win everything. Come back. Hope you win everything. You and Plush win everything and come back, and just we'll celebrate.
And again, don't forget to tune in this Saturday for the Night of Fire Jet Cars.
That's right. That's right.
My show. Jet Cars going to have fireworks out there. They're going to have a vintage car show, bracket racing. The winners win a Wally. I forget how much the pots are, but
I don't remember.
Pretty nice pots. But the main thing, I'd rather win the Wally than the money. Those Wallies are hard to come by.
Yes, they are. They are. They're very, very hard to come by. I mean, there's no denying that. But, you need a little bit to offset. Okay, put it that way. How about a half and half? You get a trophy and some cash. How's that?
I'll tell you what. If I'm very fortunate, I'll get the Wally. The church gets the money.
Fair. That's fair. I mean, whatever makes you happy, that's fair. But yeah, we wish everybody the best of luck this weekend. And Mitchell, you're covering it, right?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
That's live feed, and hopefully have a chance to interview the drivers. And not to forget, they're going to have a ladies race involved in that as well. So the ladies will compete against the ladies. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch that go down. And so there's a lot of things going on. So if you're close to Gainesville and you want to come out there and see the jet cars and see some racing, man, you got some kids, bring them out because they'll have a blast.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great time. And when you mentioned the ladies race, I could think of 4 off the top of my head who will hurt you at any race. I literally just, you got
Leah Tadera.
Yep.
Monica Roberts.
Yep.
Jen. I can't think of her last name. But she'll be driving that blue Chevy pickup, the S10.
Oh, I didn't even think about her. I was thinking about Miss Moki, or Mochi, or Moki. Oh, I always say her name, Danielle. Okay. She'll be there.
Oh, Danielle Mockley.
Yeah, Danielle Mockley. When I say Mochi, I mean Mockley. Yes. And always a killer. And so, yeah. And then if there's some others too, but that's just off the top of our head, the 3 that's always there when the dust settles. I know I said 4. Now you got me thinking the 4th one's escaping me right now. Oh,
Amber Mance.
I did say Amber.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did say Amber.
Yeah. There's some really good female racers out of Gainesville.
Man. We'll beat you horribly to come up and hug you. Like, it's like going, sorry I had to make that hurt, and just, Last time I raced Monica, she whipped me bad. I mean, really bad. Like knocked on my window and said, "What was all that about?" But that's part of it. But yeah, it's going to be a great time. So we ask everybody to tune into the live feed, and also we want to ask you to do us a favor. If you're currently not following us on Facebook, follow On the Spot Motorsports Media on Facebook. But the big thing we want you to do is go over to the YouTube. Go over to On the Spot Motorsports on YouTube and subscribe and follow us there. Also Instagram, and also we put all these on Spotify, so you have that platform as an option. You can see it both in video form or audio or both, so you have that option. And just keep coming back with suggestions, ladies and gentlemen, because we're listening to you.
So until Saturday, see you later.
Till Saturday. Everybody have a good night.
Reliability to drive thousands of miles. Confidence for those who fly high. Redline oil products give you the power to crush the competition. And a track record of being the best. Redline oil products. You push it to the limit, we'll protect it.
Ready to take your engine to the next level? Scorpion Racing Products delivers precision-engineered, high-performance rocker arms that dominate the track. 100% CNC machined in the USA with aerospace-grade aluminum for unmatched strength and durability. Our rocker arms handle extreme conditions with multiple ratios available to fit your needs. Backed by our exclusive lifetime warranty. When performance matters, choose Scorpion Racing Products. Proven, reliable, unstoppable.